Okay, what we've done is I just pulled the pizza dough out of the warm oven. It's been in there for about 30 minutes. As you see, it's almost doubled in size from when I put it in there. I have my table that's floured, and my knife. I'm actually going to take the dough and cut it in half, and then worry about shaping one piece at a time. Okay. Put my knife down. Put my dough down. Now I'm going to get the flour right on it. Kind of whirl around. See how it's not sticking to the table? If you didn't have the flour, it would stick to that table really good. Also, I press it out on the table to get the rough round shape of my pizza pan. You can do this in the pan, but then what happens is you take off the dough and the oil that you prep the pan with. And like I said, I like removing my dough from the pan about 2/3 of the way through the cooking process to give it a nice crisp crust on the bottom. So now what I'm just going to do is just flip it over, and then you can actually take it and let it kind of stretch. You got to be real careful not to get any holes in it. Now I'm just going to work it out. Unfortunately, my roller broke, so that's why I'm doing it this way right here. And kind of stretch it a little bit. That's a 12-inch pizza pan. So as long as you get this roughly the right diameter, you can still shape it in the pan. It's a little bit of a work. It takes a little getting used to. Try not to rip any holes in the dough to where your sauce goes through it. Okay. Now that I've got that, sometimes it's easier if you have two people doing this, but I'm just going to take the dough, like that, slap it right on the pan. Now I get the edges where I want to be, get the dough kind of centered on the pan. And just work it around. If you do happen to get a hole, you can kind of just pinch it together, hold it over. Now real carefully, I'm just going to rotate the pan, try to form my little rim for the crust. And it's going to want to pull back on you, so you have to work it a little bit. I have found that finger method right there, by rolling it, works pretty good. It doesn't have to be pretty. So we're getting real close right here. There's that. Okay. We're getting close. It's starting to look like a pizza shell. Now this recipe here with the quick pizza crust yeast, you actually let this pan sit for a little while before you start putting toppings on it, and this dough will actually fluff back up right in the pan, and it makes for a really nice crust. That's the difference between the old-fashioned mixing the yeast and activating it in water. It takes a long time. Personally, I've found that this is a very simple and quick method, and now my mother's using it. Okay, that's that. During my little break, I'm going to go ahead and shape the other crust. The recipe does make 2 pizza shells this size right here. What I'm going to do next is form the other shell and then show you how to prep the toppings for the pizza. If you're using fresh vegetables on it, I have found that if you put the sauce on here, the cheese on here, the pepperoni on here, and then your fresh vegetables, the juices from the fresh vegetables will make the dough kind of soggy. So what I usually do is, and I have it over there on my stove, I've already cut the vegetables and I put them in a baking pan, and I'm just going to bake those vegetables for about 5 or 10 minutes to bake some of that juice out of there. Then throw those fresh vegetables on top of this, then bake the pizza. Okay, we're going to take a little break right now, and I'm going to get the stuff ready to put the toppings on here.